Welcome to Party Party Yeah, the show that brings you all BTS related news, information, discussion topics, and more every Wednesday at 7 p.m. I'm Mariah.
I'm Tola.
I'm Taylor.
And today we're going to be talking about Jungkook's golden promotions and appearances on shows like Jimmy Fallon, Schwitzertab, The Today Show, and more. His surprise Times Square performance and other bits of BTS related news in our new segment titled, Could You Please Silence Your Cell Phone? We'll also be introducing two additional segments titled You Know BTS and Mic Drop. Thanks for joining today's episode and stay tuned.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back. We would like to thank you for returning for another episode of Party Party Yeah podcast. We are going to introduce a fun game that many of you may be familiar with and others may not. This segment is called Mic Drop, a moment where we would take two completely different BTS songs and determine which one we would personally like to save and which one is unfortunately getting dropped. Please note, these are our personal opinions, and although it's undeniable that BTS makes great music, some songs may not hold equal standing to their album counterpart, at least in our opinion, and that's okay. We want to use this segment to introduce our music tastes and preferences to our listeners. Before we start, how are you guys feeling? Are you ready?
Yeah, let's go.
Ready?
All right, the rules for Say One, Drop One. I'm going to name two songs, and you have 5 seconds to decide which one to save and which one to drop.
Easy enough.
Okay.
All right. The first one up is Fire versus Dope.
Dope for me.
Fire.
Yeah, that's dope.
So we're saving, the one we're saying is the one we're saving?
Yep.
Okay, so yeah, fire.
Yes.
For sure.
It's dope for me. So I'm going to say dope because, like I said, when I got into BTS, it was probably like the tail end of 2015 or tail end of 2014, beginning of 2015. And dope was like my first time seeing them like, let's go, like hype. And I was like, ooh, okay, like what am I getting into? It was kind of like that ushering, that eye-opening revelation of what potential the boys had in terms of choreography, videography, flair.
That makes sense. So I think with Fire, for me, it's like one of those upbeat songs that I at first initially heard. It was like Fire, Not Today, and DNA. I think those are the three that I've initially heard when I started, with BTS. And then plus seeing it in like live concerts and stuff like that too. The choreography is just so dope. And then Sugar at the beginning, just icing on the cake. Like you didn't have to finish the song. His first sentence, his first word just kills. It's just so good.
I agree. I think we have the same feelings, but for different songs, essentially.
Yeah,
Tay, what's yours?
I would have to go. This one was really hard even creating it. I would have to keep Fire.
Okay.
As well. And also seeing it in concert was so good too. So like having that as well makes it a good song.
Yeah.
A good memory.
I will say, in Dope's defense, that saxophone had me in a chokehold. I'm still not out of it. So that's where I am.
I will say for Dope too, like I know going back to that one, but I know like Jungkook's solo part in that song is like really good too. So it's a very hard
Okay. Let's do the next one.
All right. For the next one, it's going to be Know versus Danger.
No, everybody, y'all, I already told you about No. Don't ask me no questions like that. Don't get me wrong, Danger hits, but I already told y'all how I felt about No. Yeah, oh my God.
Good.
That's an OG song, might I say?
Right. Everybody say
no.
I agree completely. I would definitely say no as well.
Yeah.
All right.
Blood, Sweat, and Tears versus Fake Love.
Ooh, it's gonna be Blood, Sweat, and Tears for me. I think the aesthetic, the costume designers, everybody's rent was due in Blood, Sweat, and Tears. Fake Love, it was due, but it wasn't like I feel like there must have been like a recession or something. Like I just feel like everybody was working extra time in Blood, Sweat, and Tears.
That's so hard. That's really hard.
It's hard, but his blood sweat. I'm just looking at the silky outfits. I'm looking at the fluid movements, the choreography, the storytelling that was blood, sweat, and tears. Fake Love had a story, but was it telling a story like BST?
But you know, the one that I would play the most, even though Blood, Sweat, and Tears, I think is iconic, just iconic in a way of, I think it put them on the map over here in the Western area, like more. But Fake Love, I would play in my car on repeat. And I don't think I would do that with Blood, Sweat, and Tears. So I'm going to say Fake Love.
Okay.
Yeah, and I have to go Fake Love. And as I said in our last episode, it is my number one BTS song, so I have to save it.
I feel it. I remember Wings was a part of my era.
Yeah, so yeah, makes sense.
That's hard to. It's hard.
That was a good one.
That was really good.
Yes. Well, a counterpart to that is, okay, if you did Fake Love versus Black Swan.
Black Swan.
Black Swan, yeah. I love your Fake Love, but Black Swan hits different. I feel like, Taylor, did you do one that was Blood, Sweat? I'm just asking out of curiosity. Blood, Sweat, and Tears versus Black Swan, because I feel like that's extremely difficult. I'm just curious to know because, you know, we've done those little combinations. So how would y'all like?
That's hard. Black Swan probably though, because Black Swan is top 5 favorite BTS songs. So
yeah, and I would definitely say Black Swan still too, because yeah, like I said, it goes Fake Love and then Black Swan. So for me, my number one, my number two.
With Blood, Sweat, and Tears for me.
Yeah, it's so hard.
It is hard.
I think Black Swan for me is because I really enjoyed like the different type of choreography for that one. It wasn't like it wasn't their natural energetic choreography. It was more like lyrical in a way.
But that's what Blood, Sweat, Tears gives me. You have to see like the similarities. Black Swan and BST are very similar.
And you know, and I think if I would have came in the era like during Wings, it might be Blood, Sweat, and Tears for me. But I've just listened to Black Swan more too.
So much more. No, I feel it. That 7 album also has me in the chokehold.
Yeah. So yeah, that's hard.
These are good, Tay.
Yeah. All right. My next one is On versus Not Today.
Not today.
No,
not today.
Oh, this is hard.
And you have to preference On, not this with featuring what's her face.
No, I'm not. It's not featuring Sia. I'm sorry to anybody that likes that version, but I don't.
Trash.
When you say On,
I didn't either.
I didn't. When you say On, it's On by BTS. Period.
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
Just On.
Oh, that's still difficult. Not Today was. I remember the first time I waited for that music video to come out, and I saw Namjoon walking out. I was like, he walking like them. I feel like that's RM. It might be Not Today for me. On was nice, but I don't know if it renders the same emotions.
Yeah. Not Today is in my top 5, so I can't leave that one behind. It has to be that one. On is really good though. And I think On is a song that I can play to my non-K-poppers, like my family or friends who don't listen to K-pop, and they're like, oh, this is pretty good. I feel like that's where On stands. So it's still a great song, but for sure Not Today.
Yeah.
Okay, let's keep going. Get through these. All right, DNA versus Idol.
Idol.
Oh, Idol. Period.
I agree.
All right. No justification needed. I feel like it's Idol.
Yeah. All right, Mic Drop versus We Are Bulletproof Part 2.
Ooh, Mic Drop for me. Yeah.
Mic Drop. Yeah.
Mic Drop. Our segment name.
I know. I was like, had to be included. I Need You versus Run.
I Need You. What?
Y'all know Run is. I don't know. I just feel like there was something about them running through them fields forever that just really resonated with me personally. I really don't know. It's just Running for me.
I think I Need You. I don't know. I just like that song. Run is good. Run is just, it's there. But I Need You makes you want to belt, like, I need you. Like,
Yeah, I agree.
Y'all don't want to say run, 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 and then do the. I know y'all know exactly what I did because that's how good the song is. So don't play with me.
It's a good. Actually, it is like a staple song too. Like I think every army knows Run BTS, and then they named everything like they did after that Run BTS. So
I think it's hard too because they're literally from the same era and they feed like right into each other.
Yeah.
So if we could take them as one song, I would do that. But if not, it's Run for me.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. How about Spring Day versus Life Goes On?
Spring Day for me.
Spring Day. Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot more sentimental value came in with Spring Day, but I do love the message of Life Goes On.
Yeah. Agreed.
All right. Truth Untold versus 0 O'Clock.
Truth Untold. Ooh, you hear that vocal?
Hands down.
Stop. Don't play with that vocal line.
Right? And if we had to rank, maybe we should do this like, I don't know, next podcast. So listeners, if you guys want to hear our vocal line rankings, like top 5 vocal line songs and top 5 rap line songs, let us know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
But hands down, Truth Untold, one of the best vocal line songs.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I have to agree. That one was like one of the first ones that I heard. One of the first BTS songs in general that I had heard, and it was definitely like one that was like, ooh, I like this, and kind of definitely branched me out to keep listening to more songs. So yeah,
I think that's one of the songs that made me emotional. That and House of Cards, but like,
yeah,
it made me actually emotional where I'm like, ooh, I need to like, it was that song on replay where you find yourself just going back and back and back and back. It was that's what Truth Untold was.
Yeah. I'd be trying to sing Truth Untold, not even knowing the lyrics, but my heart will still sing it. That's how good it is.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. All right, how about UGG versus Dang?
Dang. What?
UGG has its own playlist. I created a playlist around UGG in my Apple Music, and it says, if you are hearing this playlist, it's too late. I'm already mad. Okay?
But dang, like RM's verse only in Dang. Like I would just listen to that over and over.
He did.
Like, poetic. And then just hearing like the explanation of like the different versions of like the song of the word and how they use it like different times, but it's the same word, they use it different ways. Like it's so good.
I feel that. I feel like for me, UGG was a pure stress relief song. It said it is okay to vent out and get out these emotions because people are going to get on your nerves and you just gotta let it out. Don't hold that in. Let it go.
Very true.
What about you, Tay?
This one was hard. I think I'd have to go with Dang as well. I really liked that one.
I feel it. Both great songs.
All right, how about Magic Shop versus Microcosmos?
Magic Shop, because it's all playing in my head right now. That melody came in smooth.
Yeah, Magic Shop hands down. Now, if you did like Magic Shop versus Make It Right, we have a different story.
Okay, what would you choose with that?
Magic
Make
Shop.
It Right.
Yeah. I'd still go with Magic Shop.
Right. I don't know why I entertained it. I was like,
you're like, ooh, good question. Magic Shop.
It's like a good pairing as well, but yes, Magic Shop would still win out for me.
Yeah, Make It Right for sure for me. I love that song.
All right, how about Just One Day versus Like?
Just One Day.
That's hard.
I'd have to go with Just One Day.
Because they're both from the last podcast. I don't know if you guys remember, I said Like and Just One Day are in like my top 10. I think I said. But I think Just One Day will be like for sure.
I think that's one of those staple, like iconic, like they tap into their R&B bags in Just One Day, and I was appreciative of that.
All right, how about we'll do some solo ones? Singularity versus Serendipity.
No, it's Singularity.
Yeah, I'd have to go with Serendipity as well.
This awkward is Singularity for me.
Singularity is good. I think if we had to put up both of Tay's solos, I think Singularity would win for me. But Jimin's Serendipity and then Tay's Singularity, I think Serendipity would win for me.
See, Tay is low key like his vocals have a special place in my heart because I love hearing him sing.
Yeah,
so,
that's good.
It's that's where I am.
Okay, Epiphany versus Euphoria.
Epiphany.
Euphoria.
I'd have to go with Euphoria.
Yeah, I could see that for you.
But Epiphany is really good too, so I had a hard time picking between these two. For sure.
Yeah, Epiphany is my top 5, so can't let that go. Epiphany is why I fell in love with BTS. Like that song, I've cried to that song so many times, and I'm thinking about getting a tattoo of the rose just because of that song.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Just a couple left. Ego versus Persona.
Ooh, Ego.
Ego.
Yeah, it's big Ego over here.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, I'm sorry. I am. The wheels are turning. And you know what? I feel like my instinct was to say Ego, but if I think about it.
Persona had a good message, but I think I would play Ego multiple times in my car.
I agree with that, actually. I can agree with that.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Persona though. Actually, I listened to that one more than Ego. So,
but I feel like you can bump them both in the car, and maybe it's just because my head keeps hearing RM say Persona, so I feel like now it's trying to like pull me in. I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep it with Ego. I'm gonna be true to my first instinct. All right. But that's hard. That's definitely a hard one.
It is.
Yes. All right. How about Lie versus Shadow?
Girl, you just causing stress.
That's hard. Shadow.
I agree.
Yeah. I'd have to go with Shadow too. That song really really got to me when I first heard it. But I mean, Lie is iconic though too, so it was very hard to pick between those two.
Yeah, Lie is good too. I like hearing like Jimin's voice in Lie. I think it's chef's kiss in Lie, but gotta stick with my sugar bear.
Sugar booger.
All right, My Time versus Filter.
Maybe Filter. I was listening to that the other day, actually.
I would choose My Time only because, and I keep saying this with Taylor when we have like our side conversations, I think if Cookie stays in that My Time direction, he would be like the next Justin Timberlake. I think My Time is like the genre that Jungkook like he thrives in. Yeah. So it's like a little bit of R&B, a little bit of pop. It's a Justin Timberlake essence. And I think if he stays there, it would be so good.
I feel like Jimin's really pulling me though towards Filter. I understand and I hear everything you're saying, and yes, but it's still Filter for me.
Yeah, Filter was good.
All right, Attack on Bangtan versus Boys with Fun.
Ooh, it's gonna be Attack on Bangtan with me. You know I love my OG BTS music right there.
I would say
it's fun. It's fun from the beginning to the end. You're gonna have a good time with that song.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Attack on Bangtan for sure.
Attack on Bangtan as well. All right. My City versus Home.
Home, hands down. Home is the best BTS song, period.
Okay, that's a very strong
mic drop.
Oh, she and both the mic drop, ma'am. Okay, we know what's in your top 10, and now we see what's number 1. But keep that personal comment over there.
Home for sure.
Yeah, definitely agree with Home, but don't know if I would say it's the best one.
Right. I can agree.
But I agree with Home being over.
Don't be hating on your love. Oh, so good.
And for the last one, No More Dream versus We Are Bulletproof Part 2.
Ooh, Taylor, don't do that. Let's say We Are Bulletproof, even though it's a questionable music video. And I say that because the fashion was a little bit of everywhere. there's just something about the way that it all came together that just amplified the song on its own. And it was just given some like raw, like hip hop vibe. It was the beat. Maybe it was the beat that was coming to me. And No More Dream Eats, not gonna lie. But We Are Bulletproof. I think that's where I'm gonna stay.
I agree. I would say We Are Bulletproof. Even though No More Dream, it just has its iconic moment because it's like the first song that they debuted with. But yeah, We Are Bulletproof eats more. Like you'd be like,
No More Dream. Will we get some cookie wraps? But
yeah,
I feel like we get cookie wraps in both of them actually.
yeah. I think everybody is rapping in that first album. Like everyone takes a turn.
Yeah. They said y'all all rappers. I don't care.
Right.
Oh, you sing? No, you rapping today.
Right.
And B was probably like, all right, bet.
Right. He wishes so bad he could be on Rap Line.
Yeah. That wraps up this segment. If there was a song mashup you really wanted to hear our opinions of, make sure to follow us on social media via Instagram or Twitter at ppy_podcast. Let us know what mashups you would like to be featured in the next mic drop segment.
Now we're going to move on to another new segment of the podcast, one you will be seeing on a regular basis. This new segment is called Could You Please Silence Your Cell Phone? A segment where we cover the who, what, where, when, and why of all BTS-related news, promotions, and media content that occurred in the past week. All we ask is that you grab a snack, sit back, relax, and silence your cell phone. Allow us to tell you what's been going on in the realm of BTS. So with Jungkook's new debut album, there's a lot of news that is going to be Jungkook oriented. So I guess we can start by discussing his Jimmy Fallon appearance. What were you guys' thoughts on that? Were there any funny moments or standout events? I know we did get some good news in that realm where Jimmy revealed to Cookie that his song 7 went platinum in the US. So
yes, that was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Well deserved, honestly.
Yes. Mm-hmm. It was everywhere. TikTok, Instagram, literally YouTube. The song was playing. I don't know, but I'm wondering if it was attached to like any commercials too, because I feel like commercials would have jumped on that song, especially during the summertime.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they add it later.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
yeah, for sure.
But yeah, Jimmy Fallon, hilarious. I like how they all Jimmy Fallon too. Like they keep it consistent. And I know there was some like, I don't know, controversy with like the whole Jimmy Fallon and the other guy, the late night show or whatever, the late night show.
Oh, I had no idea. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I think Jimmy Fallon welcomes them and does just a really good job, like not going into the group as a whole, but focusing on his moment, Like, yeah, you're gonna talk about BTS when you're talking about any member, but just focusing on the artist and his moment, I think he did a good job of that. So.
I agree. I did enjoy seeing him on Jimmy. I thought it was a very genuine reaction, even him getting him some New York pizza to make sure the boy was able to get his taste in, since he likes or enjoys not cold pizza with. That was actually I agree with him on that.
Yeah.
Cold pizza is it's a no-go for me, but it was fun. I also did enjoy just like the wholesome moments of him trying to teach Jimmy dance moves.
Right, how to dance.
Her standing next to you.
That was hysterical.
Yeah, it was so cute. Jimmy's just so funny too.
Yeah, no, I think those are great personalities to come together. And he also revealed too that 7 was the fastest song, or Jungkook broke the record for fastest songs to make 1 billion streams. I believe it was it on Spotify or was it just in general? I don't know if y'all can clarify for that, but I was just like, it was nice to see him really just listing off his accomplishments.
I agree. Yeah, I agree.
Definitely.
And I may be mixing up interviews, and we may talk about this later too, but at one point through whatever we talk about, Cookie talked about the fact that he doesn't necessarily look at it like I'm doing like all of these things as in like gold medals or achievements to hang over people's head, but rather he's like looking forward to like better himself and better what he does.
Yeah, I remember him talk about that in the Apple Music.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think that was from the Apple Music. But yes.
Okay, yeah. So we'll get into that later then. But I think we can see that resonate through each of the things that he's been doing in the past week. He's kept that true to himself.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, definitely.
And I really was so proud of him and his English. Like he was really trying to do that interview mostly in English. You could tell.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
I agree. I agree.
He's always so cute because he's like usually like my English not so good, but he will definitely try. So cute.
Yeah.
Okay, so I feel like then since we kind of alluded to the iTunes interview,
I did have one more thing I wanted to add back to the Jimmy Fallon thing,
sure.
which I thought was just really cute. Was that Jimmy outed him on Weverse for him falling asleep.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
He's like 45-minute nap, and the people were happy for him, and he knew it. He said, "I think Army were happy. I was able to sleep."
Right.
So funny enough, though, I actually was watching him when he streamed this, like when he was on that, like, and he came on saying like it was like super early in the morning, and he was like, "Yeah, I just can't sleep. I can't get comfortable." And then he literally just like closed his eyes at one point and fell asleep, and everyone on the chat was like, "Is he asleep? Is he asleep?" It was just so funny because like I stopped kind of watching once he fell asleep because I felt kind of weird about watching him while he was sleeping. So, but I had it on like next to me. And I just like because I was curious to see, I was like, okay, I'm really curious to see how long it takes before this gets like shut off. So I just like left it next to me to see, and yeah, it was like the 45 minutes later thing. It was so funny.
Yeah, I think like they said that 6 million people watched him sleep.
Yeah, it was definitely
wild.
I feel like part of me feels like some of them were like, okay, well, if they see he's technically still working, then they'll allow him to continue sleeping because he's doing essentially what he came on there to do, which was stream and, be Army and talk to people. Granted, the talking probably wasn't happening, but
yes.
And
I don't know how I feel about like Jimmy like outing Weverse now, because now like other people are gonna come find this
Well, the thing with Weverse is I feel like it's opening more and more as it's letting in more and more groups from different agencies, which is great for the platform in general. So people are bound to flock to Weverse regardless. It's growing, and I feel like it was meant to grow.
Yeah. And I think it was funny too, because the way he was talking about it seemed like it was like intentional. Like he was saying how he wanted Army to see something different. I believe he was saying. So like the fact that it was intentional is even more hilarious to me.
Yes.
And I think that kind of bleeds into the fact that, and I think this might also be from the iTunes interview, but he talked about how there is no separation between his personality when he is idol Cookie and when he's himself. Like it's all the same person. So this is him literally showing us his true, authentic self. Like, hey guys, this is me.
Right.
I'm a napper.
Yes.
It is what it is.
No shame at all.
No shame at all. Because you're only human, and that boy works a lot. So I don't think anybody ever faulted him for a 45-minute nap. All right. So does anyone else have anything to add in terms of the Jimmy Fallon interview and the Standing Next to You performance? Overall, I thought everything was good. It was a great interview.
Yeah. I like how he put the microphone down and like killed it and then just picked it back up.
It was like very like strategically like put it down in front of him.
It just gave me like 1 second. Let me kill it real quick and then
let me cook.
Right. Let me eat this part up and then I'll be back.
Yes.
This past week, Cookie also did an interview on iTunes. in this interview, he talked about Golden and just, I guess, dove a little bit deeper into himself and what went into this album in general. So this was the Zane Lowe show on Apple Music. So if you have it, definitely go listen to the full interview. It's very insightful. I feel like it's heartwarming, and it was just a chance for Jungkook to tell us about him. It kind of, for me, felt like it was a history podcast, and I am a history podcast girly. The way that they structured this interview, it felt like, you got like the preamble, the opening of it, where you get his childhood, you see a young Cookie playing and whatever, that was the aura that it was giving. And I do like how he started off asking about, his younger years and how he kind of got up to the point of Golden, rather than just jumping right into it, because I do feel like it's important to understand his past, to understand one, where the name Golden comes from, and how he's kind of using that to show, hey, it's me, I'm still your Golden Maknae, I'm doing all these great things,
Yeah, I totally agree. I think this interview was one of the best interviews I've seen in a while. I feel like the questions he were asking were very like genuine, intimate, not like your typical questions that he gets probably every single time he interviews. Like I've learned like, a few things watching that interview. So I thought it was very, very good. He was very relaxed with him, and like it just showed like a different side, I think, of what an interview could be. It just seemed very like relaxed. So I enjoyed it a lot.
Agree, 100%.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it was definitely very insightful. Like I liked all the questions that he asked, and yeah, I agree. Like I think Jungkook was like very comfortable in the interview, and yeah, I didn't think any of the questions seemed inappropriate or weird, or so yeah, I think it was very good.
And I also think the interviewer genuinely wanted to know the answers to this. Like, it wasn't like he was asking on our behalf, which I know he was, because that's his job. But the way that the delivery was, it was a genuine curiosity. I want to know about this person that I'm interviewing, and I want to know why so many people are so supportive of this artist. What makes them that good? I think the only critique that I wrote about the whole interview was that I wish Standing Next to You was the opening song. I'm tired of 3D. I told y'all 3D is not for me. It's not. it was on the bottom of my list. And the way that I'm thinking about it, Jack Harlow and his negotiators and his contractors, they probably smart. They were probably like, hey, if we're going to be on this song, whenever you're doing promotions, we need you to play this song 10, 15 times out of the 30, 40 promotions that you do. That's why I think I've been hearing 3D so much. That's just it. So that was my only critique. I would have preferred Standing Next to You to be the opening, because I feel like it really would have set the tone. And I feel like, personally, Standing Next to You may be Cookie and the rest of BTS's favorite song. So, just go ahead and blast that on every speaker. That was my only critique.
I didn't really have any critiques, but the question that I really enjoyed hearing about, and I wish he would have went more into it, or maybe he just decided not to even talk about it because it's just like irrelevant. But when the interviewer asked about like him changing his lyrics, like the explicit version of Seven, and like what he thought about kind of the controversy around it. And I love how Cookie was just like I'm growing, like that's just how it naturally is. Like I'm naturally coming into this new version of me. And he was basically saying like, I don't care what people think about it. So I think that was a very controversial question to ask, but he did it in such a good like way. So
I think he also got like a very controversial response to that song, because I know there was a lot of armies who were like either loved it or hate it, for what it was. So it definitely was a good way to get like Jungkook's own opinion on like him doing the song and why he did it that way.
Exactly.
My thing is, and this just goes for idols in general, they are human beings that are aging. We cannot expect them to act like innocent, pure, pristine children forever because they are adults.
Half of them older than us.
Grow. Yeah. They're either our age or older than us.
Right.
Or a year or two younger than us. And granted, I do understand there are some, which, you know, this is another thing for me. Some are starting young. A little concerning, I understand, but that's not the issue here. The thing is, we cannot trap them in a box forever because that is how you stunt people's artistic ability to, or artistic growth ability, or however you phrase that. You stunt their growth when you try to trap them.
Right. And I think I don't know if he went on a live or what this was, but I think an army asked him on during a live stream, like, why did he have the explicit version? And he's like, why is that nasty? Like, why is talking about that nasty to you? It's natural. Like the way he was explaining it was well spoken. So yeah, I really enjoyed the iTunes interview for sure.
I did too. Another thing that I really did like about it was when the interviewer asked him, at what point did you feel motivated and secure in what you were doing? And of course, he threw out my favorite era, most beautiful moment in life. He said that was it. Like, that is when I knew, and I feel like, to be honest, that is when they started to gain a lot of traction within Korea. I won't say at that point it was international, because I feel like the era after that was when they hit that international platform. But they were starting to blow up with that era. And I feel like they were recognizing, because they put their heart and soul in that. They were recognizing what musical and artistic power they truly had.
Yeah.
And that has to be a very like reassuring feeling.
And he was also talking about how he wasn't really like into music until he was past his like debut. I thought that was interesting too. I'm like, you naturally think like people who are music artists should be into music, right? But he was like, he wasn't really into it until he was like debuted and, you know, started producing albums. So I thought that was cool to hear. And another question I thought was awesome. He just had some really good questions. Was like memories he had as a child, and Jungkook.
Oh yeah.
I don't really have any memories, which is like, you can think about it, like he started so young, like most of our memories, you know, develop that we actually like, you know, remember and stuff like that. When we're in that like 8, 9, 10, we actually start remembering what happened previously. But he started as a trainee, what, like 13? So you can imagine like his
so the reason I giggled a little bit too is because, one, when the interviewer asked him and kind of had his line of questioning about that, he was talking about it's hard to like go back and watch those videos because he'll like cringe it. He doesn't want to cringe at himself, you know, some like looking back. But then this past week in a lot of the interviews, and even in Session Talk, I probably said that so wrong, I'm sorry, but they were playing old videos. And I'm like, this man is being forced to relive the thing that he literally just like, he does not want to do. And I thought it was so funny, but at the same time, it was a nice little look back.
Yeah, I also really liked, he asked like what he was most proud of. And in that, like, he went on to talk about that like he had all the stuff that he had accomplished like with BTS. And he had also said that in a lot of like his accomplishments, or a lot of things that he does, like he thinks about ARMY and what he wants to do together with ARMY. So I thought that was like a great response to that question.
I agree. Another thing, sorry, that I just thought of too is how when he asked him about, you know, his dynamic with the other members, because I feel like it was important towards Golden, at least in asking for like input and whatnot, and where that inspiration comes from, he revealed actually that like a lot of the vocal lines looked to the rap line because they look like so insured and releasing their music. They'd be doing something, immediately they'd go and they'd start working on their songs or their singles or whatever they were doing, and that really like inspired himself to start doing that and adopting that as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're gonna move on to talk about his Times Square performance. I thought that was great. I thought it was a very nice performance. I think it was a nice gift to fans, and it was also, it put me in another like a secondary fangirl mode. So I'm already there to celebrate Jungkook, right? But at the same time, I'm looking at these backup dancers, and I'm like, now why do y'all look familiar? Only to find out some of those dancers were contestants on America's Best Dance Crew with Most Wanted Crew. And I used to love them, like watch their videos, go follow them on YouTube. I was watching America's Best Dance Crew for them. So to see them dancing as his backup dancers, and even in the Standing Next to You video, I don't know why I was never putting two and two together. But Brian Post and Ian Eastwood, I see y'all. And I love the fact that all my little multiverses are colliding. My little fangirl multiverses.
I didn't know that. I remember
I
watching that show back in the day too.
It was a nice little, a genuine, sweet little treat. But back to him, at least, I mean, they were doing it. He was serving his live vocals, and I appreciate that. He was dancing. Everybody was falling in line. I thought that the outfits were on point. Honestly, it had no qualms. I thought it was good.
Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah, I also like that he did Yes or No, that he performed that one. Because like, obviously like the other ones were very like, Standing Next to You, 3D, Please Don't Change It to 7. Like those were all like kind of a given, but that was just another good one that he threw out there from his album. So I liked hearing
that's true.
I wouldn't be mad if he performed it with Ed. I just want to see what it would sound like.
It has to happen. There's just like, it has to happen. So I'm looking forward to it. It's going to happen. I'm predicting it.
Yes. I did just want to add too, I thought it was like just really interesting that they basically gave ARMY like 30 minutes notice on Twitter saying like, hey,
you in Times
Square.
Be there.
So I'm sure ARMY was like scrambling to be like,
and they showed up.
Right. Like, how do I get to Times Square in 30 minutes?
Right, in full force.
Yes.
Ooh, I know traffic was mad that day.
Oh, I'm sure. I am sure.
All right. Okay. And then the last thing that we're going to talk about is Jungkook's appearance on Suga's YouTube show, Sashita. So I actually did enjoy that as well. I thought, first of all, anytime B show up to the party, it's going to be a party for me. Okay. Right. And boy understood the assignment, because I knew he knew what he was doing.
He just came
there. You knew that food was going to be there.
Yeah, he cracked me up. Literally, just the whole interview, he's just in the background eating.
Right. That food be looking good too.
It did look good, but I thought they set the atmosphere, and I mean, Sugar always sets the atmosphere. Is very nice. I thought, it was, I don't know, it was just a very sweet show, and I feel like I could feel how proud Sugar was of,
You can tell that he really looks up to Suga and like rap line in general, like just their dedication and hard work. Like he was saying too, I forget when it was, beginning or end, but how he kind of acknowledged like he felt like he slacked when they first went on the break. And he felt like really bad about that. And I was surprised, because I always thought of it as like he's so tired, like he wants to relax and be normal for a second, but he looked at it as like him slacking. So I thought that was interesting to hear.
Yeah, and I know like Suga was giving him some like really like good advice throughout like the entire interview, and it was really cute to see him be like, I've done this, and now like here's my advice, and like now that you're doing this or have done this. And I thought that was great too. He was giving some really great advice to him throughout the interview.
What did he say that the last time Cookie came on, it was like his first time reaching like 200 million views or something?
Oh, it was like it was 13 million.
It was 13 million. Yeah. You're right. I was like, dang, not Cookie bringing in your audience.
And then when Tay came in this episode, he was like, yeah, you could stay 20 million views.
Right.
I mean, there's 3 members right there, so I mean, hello,
Right.
gotta get up there.
No, it's very nice. It really was. I do like how they also did like the little plays of some of the different songs on there. It is just very nice. And of course, it's been confirmed. They all like standing next to you.
Right.
So
Yeah.
that's just the song. That's the one.
Yep.
I do wish that they would have, I don't know how production happens, but it seemed like they recorded this before the album dropped. So I wish maybe it was like he was able to talk about more of his songs, but it seemed like he couldn't really talk about more of his songs because he didn't know when the episode would drop. So I think that was the only thing that was like,
Yeah. Well, I think I was trying to figure out like when they filmed it, and it was literally like a couple weeks before Suga left for his military service. So that was kind of, I think, the only time they had to do it.
Makes sense then.
And so when he brought the cake in at the end and was like, it was like a couple days past his birthday, I was like, oh, okay, so it was September. And yeah, Suga left it like towards the end of September for service. So.
Even so, I feel like they could have allowed him to release more information, and they could have purposefully scheduled it.
Yeah.
To release after, because I think like last week was Taemin, and Taemin's album came out. His show came out after his album.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I feel like that might be I don't know. That could just also be coincidental.
Yeah.
But I feel like they probably tried to do it after, because the traction of whomever comes on the show, their album is out, people are listening to it, so that's when they're like searching to go see the interviews and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
Well, he mentioned one of the other songs. I'm trying to remember which one it was. He mentioned he mentioned Hate You, didn't he?
Oh, maybe that
Hate You.
He mentioned Hate You in Apple Music interview.
I know he did in that one, but I was thinking he mentioned it in this one too, because he was saying that he thought that was one that he thought people were really gonna like, and that was one he did like.
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe it was. See, now I'm confused. It might have been both, but
I didn't realize that he recorded "Standing Next to You" before he did. Was it 7? No, before he did 3D.
Yeah, because he said he did 7, and then literally it was like the next day he did "Standing Next to You," because it was the same producer that did 7. I'm saying that right? The same, because he said that he was recording 7, and the guy that he was producing it with was like, "Oh, I have some other songs. You want to listen to it?" And he heard "Standing Next to You," and he's like, "I went to that one." And then so
but I'm glad he did that. I'm glad he did it that way, because I don't think if 3D was like the song the single that was associated with the album, I don't think it would have gotten as much like hype as "Standing Next to You," just because of just how good the song is. So if they would have done like single with 7 and a single with "Standing Next to You," and then released the album with 3D as his like music video and all that stuff, I don't think it would have went the way that it did for "Standing Next to You" being like the single that released his album.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Another thing I thought was interesting from Suchita that Jungkook mentioned was that him and Jimin were apparently camping in the US at some point. Then I know he went and explained it to Suga, and it was like, spoiler. So and then at the bottom it was like there was a little blurb that was like Jungkook and Jimin like content coming soon or something.
Ooh.
Yes, I remember that. That's gonna be really good, because I love them two together.
Yeah.
The chaos that will ensue.
Right.
Something tells me that could come out a little bit later, maybe like, because I feel like they're trying to get every little content that they can like get out to us after and listen.
Oh yeah.
So I could see that happen coming a little bit later, but
for sure.
That would be exciting for sure. And he also mentioned that he recorded a documentary, which it seems like they all kind of
did talk about that.
Yeah, because that was another thing. Like, I know Suga was giving him advice about, even if you don't use all like the content, it's like it's always a great thing to go back and reflect on and stuff. And I just thought that was really cute too. So I was like, so we might be getting a documentary and some Jimin and Jungkook content coming too. So
I feel like Jungkook providing content in a documentary theme or what is it, template is good. Because after this iTunes one, I was sold. I like him in that format.
Yes, for sure. I know he said he's a little awkward because he's like all the cameras are like on you, like especially as a solo. He's like they're just there, but I'm sure it'll be great though.
Okay, so we're gonna wrap that larger part of the segment here, but we also wanted to include this last portion of our segment where we would give you some quick news and other things that, you know, we may not have been able to highlight in depth, but we also felt was important to know. So first, Jungkook became the first Korean soloist to spend 12 weeks on the Billboard's 100 or Billboard's Artist 100 list. Woo, V became the first K-pop soloist to spend 7 consecutive weeks on Billboard's 200 list with his solo debut album Layover.
Let's go.
The Korean Business Research Institute has revealed this month's brand reputation rankings for male idol groups, and BTS is topping the list for the 66th consecutive month. Ooh, actually, big pub, because you know all my faves up on that list. So I'm eating personally, but I'm super eating because there's number one. So then we have B earned 2 separate Circle certifications for his solo debut album with Layover. Now, the Circle chart was formerly the Gaon chart, which rebranded from a domestic to a global chart, where they're collecting all K-pop associated data on a global scale. So we are now affecting how those charts are turning out. And this deal expands to many different platforms for data collection, but if you want to know more about it, go to Gaon or Circle Chart's website and do some reading up on their certifications and, you know, what qualifies a person. But that's extremely impressive. And then on top of that, we already knew Seven was certified platinum in the US. And lastly, not necessarily news, but a little bit of a hopeful. If you were hoping to see Jungkook perform at the upcoming 2023 Mama Awards, there may still be some hope. So when asked about it, Mama said that they're still discussing the possibility of adding additional artists onto their performance roster. So maybe this could include him, maybe not. We shall see. But that'd be kind of cool. It'd be different to see him, you know, performing in Mama. But
I think it'd be dope. I know he was talking about how he wanted to do a world tour, but doesn't think he has enough songs to do that. So this would be a good, you know, we still get that live performance. So
I was like, sweetie, if you want to just sing your lines and all the songs, I'll listen to it.
Right.
I'll sing with you.
Well, actually, V and Suga both said they felt like he had enough material.
Mm-hmm. Oh, for sure.
So maybe we'll see. And maybe, hey, he just wants to add a little bit more. And, you know, we'll take him. We'll take the songs.
So now we're going to move on to our last segment of the night called Know BTS, a segment where we test our BTS knowledge and, you know, do a little BTS trivia. So I'm going to give you the question and then I'll give you guys like multiple choice so you guys can think about it a little bit. And you just tell me what you think the answer is.
Okay.
All right. So first question, what is BTS's highest selling album of all time?
Ooh.
A, B, Map of the Soul 7.
I'm mad you did that.
C, Love Yourself Answer, or D, Wings.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's a hard one.
You know, my biased self almost said Wings, but let me calm down.
Right, not your favorite album. The highest selling.
I know that's
album.
what I'm struggling with, because I'm gonna say Love Yourself, but I'm like, that's just because it's my favorite.
Right. Part of me wants to say Map of the Soul. It's either Map of the Soul or B, but I think it's Map of the Soul 7.
What do you think, Sam?
Locking in final answer. Was that B?
I'm gonna say I'm locking in with Love Yourself Answer.
It was Map of the Soul 7, so totally got it right.
Thank you.
If you think about it, like it makes sense because I think that's when
Yeah.
they finally was like international
Mhm.
completely, and like a lot of people just knew about them. So
Yes.
I agree.
Yeah, that makes sense.
yeah,
Because that was like rolling off of the Love Yourself era, which did extremely well.
Yes.
And
right.
it was like highly anticipated where it was sold out. I remember I had to like, thank God something said, just pre-order this album, girl. Just
Yep.
Get it now. Because people were waiting.
Right. And
Yeah,
didn't they
that makes
start
sense.
selling? I don't know when they started selling in like Target too, but I feel like that was around that time, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. So, okay. Next question. What was the name of their first variety show? I didn't know this one. A. Run BTS. B. BTS Bon Voyage. C. Rookie King Channel Bangtan. Or D. Burn the Stage the movie. First variety show.
I don't know why. I'm thinking like, I thought it was like BTS Bomb or something like that, but I guess it maybe C. I don't know. Because I feel like Bon Voyage was not the first one.
No,
And
Bon
neither
Voyage
was
Bon Voyage was the travel. So it wasn't
right.
that.
And I don't think Run BTS was the first one because there was something, it was like BTS Bomb or maybe it had Bangtan in the name. So I'm gonna say C. I don't even remember what C was, but that's my answer.
Yeah, so it was C,
Yes.
Rookie King
That was,
Channel
yeah.
Bangtan.
Yeah.
And it's so cute. If you Google it or YouTube it, it's like all
Mhm.
of them when they're in like that debut phase of like their looks, trying to be like gangster rappers. It's so hilarious.
Oh my goodness.
All right. Next question. What does ARMY stand for? A, adorable representation or representative, sorry, MC for youth. B, adorable representative, MK for you. C, amazing representative, MB for youth. Or D, amazing representative, ML for you.
What was
Go
the
with
first one
A.
again? Yeah.
A
Can you
was
repeat it again?
adorable representative, MC for youth.
I think it's that one.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with
I'm
A.
A. Yep,
yeah.
it is A. Adorable representative MC for youth, which I have no idea. Anybody have like the background of that? Because that was a
I'm trying to
new,
remember. I want to say it was Namjoon who came up with that name,
really.
but I don't remember. So
Yeah. Well, listeners, please let us
Oh,
know
it's the
at
hashtag.
hashtag
yes.
BTS Army Stories on our podcast website or Instagram or Twitter. You can definitely use that hashtag and let us know what your thoughts are. Okay, so next question is, which music awards was the first time BTS debuted in the United States? Was it A, the Billboard Music Awards, B, the Oscars, C, the Asian Artist Awards, or D, the American Music Awards?
Part of me wants to say it was D, but the other part of me thinks it might have been Billboard.
Those are mine
Part of
too.
me feels like it was American during, oh, shoot, I don't know.
I'm gonna go with American Music Awards.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Tay on that one. That's first instinct.
Yeah, you guys are correct. So D is the American Music Awards.
Yay.
Yeah. All right. Next question. What is the name of the sauces from the recent BTS McDonald's meal that everyone and their mom tried to get? Was it A, sweet and sour and tangy barbecue? B, sweet chili and Cajun? C, honey mustard and creamy ranch? Or D, spicy buffalo and sweet chili?
Is it the sweet chili and Cajun?
I was gonna go with the first one, the sweet and sour one.
Oh, that's. I think it's sweet chili. I'm gonna go with sweet chili and Cajun. Tay, you going with sweet and sour?
Yeah, I'm going with the first one.
Sweet and sour and tangy barbecue sauce.
Yep.
All right. Well, it was B. So Tola, you were correct. Sweet chili and Cajuns.
Woo!
Yeah. Now everyone
Totally.
like I think tries to sell those. Like people bought them up and like still trying to sell them.
But they don't still try to use
They like expired now.
It's so
I'm assuming
funny.
they probably just try to like display them. Be like, okay.
Right, for display. Or even
Yeah.
the bags when the bags had like the purple on it or whatever. People
Oh
try to
yes.
sell those.
I thought you were talking about actual sauces.
No, the
Oh,
sauces. Yeah.
yeah, the
Oh,
sauces, but yeah, just
It's so
okay. Well,
funny.
y'all just be careful. Don't be cracking that open to
Right.
eat. If you
yeah, no.
display it, that's cool.
Yeah, I would hope not.
All right, next question. Which charity did BTS partner up with and donated over 1 million US dollars to? A. UNICEF. B. Pencils of Promise. C. ALSAC, which is, I'm assuming, ALSAC, or D. Unbound.
It's gonna have to be UNICEF for me.
Yeah, UNICEF.
Yeah, definitely. UNICEF.
I was gonna stop you right there, but I said let me just let it go ahead.
Yep. And I was like, I already know the answer.
I honestly, I don't know what ALSAC is. I've never, I don't think, heard of that one. But yeah, it was UNICEF. Okay. Which BTS music video was the first to reach 100 million views on YouTube?
Fire? Oh, sorry.
You're like fire. So, A, Blood, Sweat, and Tears.
Ooh.
B, Butter, Smooth like butter. C, Mic Drop. Or D, Dope.
It might have been doper, Blood, Sweat, and Tears, but I'm gonna go ahead and give it to Blood, Sweat, and Tears.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to say Blood, Sweat, and Tears as well.
And then Dope. I think Dope came after.
It was D, Dope.
What?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Dope was good though. I'm not gonna lie.
It
I'm not
was.
surprised, but I am surprised.
Yeah. Okay. Next question. Which BTS song led them to their first ever win? A, No More Dream. B, War of Hormone. C, Dynamite. Or D, I Need You, girl.
It's D. It's D.
I need you.
It's D. It's D.
Yes.
I don't know why I had to sing it, but I just every time I see that title, I have to
I
sing
was waiting for you to say that one too.
it. Yes, it is D. I need you, girl. Okay, two more.
Mm-hmm.
What was the first official song BTS dedicated to their fans? This is a good one. A, No More Dream. B, Still Wishing for Better Days. C, 2-3. Or D, Save Me.
I'm gonna go with 2-3.
I honestly thought it was Pied Piper.
Also a good one.
Right. But I'm gonna go ahead and say Save Me.
So it's actually C, it's 2-3. And I remember doing hearing an interview about it. Like I guess
Mhm.
R was going through a hard time and BTS was going through a hard time, and apparently that's when they were like, this is our
Song to you.
song to you. Yeah. So so you Tay, I think you got that one right.
Yes.
All right. Last question. Which of the following members dreamed of becoming a professional tennis player when he was in elementary school? A, J-Hope. B, Sugar Bear. C, Jiminshi. Or D, Cookie.
I don't know. It's giving J-Hope thoughts. I don't
I
know
would
why.
definitely say J-Hope.
Yes, A, J-Hope. And remember they had that like Run BTS episode of them playing tennis.
Yes.
Everyone kept calling him the ace, and he's like, I haven't played in like 10 years, guys.
Yes. Well, and I know like in several different interviews he talked about how it was like they asked him like if you weren't a member of BTS, what were you going to be? He does say tennis player. He said he got bronze out of 3 teams.
Hilarious.
And I don't see Suga wanting to be a tennis player.
Right. Suga wants to be a rock.
And Tay will carry him around.
Right. All right, guys. Well, that wraps up that segment. Please submit any questions you would like us to do trivia with at the hashtag BTS Army Stories. We would love to receive your questions.
Episode, we would love to share your hashtag BTS Army Stories PPY or answer any questions you may have for us. You can submit these stories via Twitter at PPY_podcast or via Gmail at BTSPartyPartyYeahandCO at gmail.com. That's BTSPartyPartyYeahandCO at gmail.com. Thank you so much for joining us for this episode, and we look forward to growing with each and every one of you. Just so you know, make sure to reach out to us on social media. You can also find us on Instagram at PPY_podcast. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.